go.
Okay, I'm here at MAT with Greg Roskopf in Denver, Colorado. Greg's been obviously one of our educators here on the PTA Global courses, and he's been a very, very huge supporter of PT on the Net and PTA Global for many years now, and just presented for us at Meeting the Minds. Greg, how you doing, mate?
Good.
I've come in. Greg's been obviously a very good friend, and he's probably one of the busiest guys in the world. But he's been able to fit me in, and I've actually hurt my back. So what I wanted to do is have Greg show you what he does with me, and I'm a very firm believer. He's actually helped me a lot of times before. So this will give you a great idea of MAT from the guy that actually created it. So let's go for it.
Okay, the first thing I look at is the principles of MAT is that muscle tightness is secondary to muscle weakness. So the first thing I did want to do is a range of motion assessment. So I had Richard go through a range of motion, and we've already kind of checked motion, and where he sees limitations are in trunk rotation, where at end range of trunk rotation he has pain, and more pain on one side than the other?
Yep.
This way?
A little bit more the other way, actually.
Okay,
yep.
So more pain in left trunk rotation,
definitely tightness,
and
yeah.
Tighter in left rotation. So that's telling me, first thing that I think of is the muscles that rotate him to the left are potentially weak. But while I was checking his range of motion and rotation, he also noted that as he tried to sit up, he had pain in trunk flexion. So I actually had him reach toward his toes, and as you can see, he's pretty tight. So now we could say that's
an understatement.
Yeah. So we could say this is a restriction in his hamstrings or low back muscles, where with muscle activation techniques we take a paradigm shift and look at, well, the muscles that actually flex him into trunk flexion are the ones that I'm concerned with. So the abdominals and the hip flexors are the ones that would create trunk flexion. So I'm thinking that these muscles are potentially weak. And as I go through, I assess the integrity of the muscles. Go ahead and cross the arms. And all I want to know is if he can handle force. As he comes into end range in trunk flexion, I apply a light force, and he can't even control that motion.
I'm pathetic. That's his polite way of saying I'm very weak.
And as I come to the other side, same thing. And these are lower abdominals, actually specific to the pyramidalis. And then lie back. And then the opposite are the hip flexors. Straighten the leg. Bring the leg here. Hold up. I'm going to push down. So as I check the psoas major, we have weakness in the psoas major. Hold up here. Weakness in the psoas minor. And I did check these, and bilaterally he's weak on all of these. So there's the common denominator is that he's weak in the muscles that flex the trunk, basically hip flexors and lower abdominals. And then go ahead and sit up and cross the arms, arch the back, turn all the way. And now I'm going to try and unrotate you. And then turn all the way the other way. Try and unrotate you. Do it again. So he's weaker in left rotation at end range than he is in right rotation. He's actually able to resist me. So I can apply quite a bit of force and he can resist me, whereas opposed to here I am hardly pushing and he can't resist. And the pain's on your right side?
Yeah.
So he has pain on his right side. So that's the first thing they're looking at, is this combination of lack of rotation on the right side and lack of strength and neurological integrity of the rotators to the left. So basically the external obliques is what I'm thinking on this side, right side external, left side internal, along with other muscles that rotate the spine to the left. So I'm going to go through, go ahead and flip over.
I promise I'm not going to get naked for this session.
Arms to the side, lift up here, rotate all the way, and I'm going to push down, and rotate the other way, I'm going to push down. And we're weaker going that way, which ironically, turn this way again. So ironically, we're here. And even posteriorly, as I test the back muscles, these are muscles, they're posterior muscles, but he's basically weaker in left rotation. So common denominator here is a weakness in left rotation combined with the weakness in trunk flexion. So through a hands-on therapy technique, go ahead and flip back over. We're going to go through and stimulate and basically improve the communication between the brain and the muscles to improve his ability to contract at the end ranges of motion. And once I go through the treatment, this will be about a 40-minute process. once I go through the treatment, we'll come back and reassess his range of motion, his pain levels, and his ability to contract at end range.